Funnels Radio, the place where we get to teach you how to build successful online businesses utilizing the linchpin model so that you don't have to spend all kinds of money on those expensive courses and you kind of get to hang out with us and talk all things linchpin.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm Alma Curran, and today is our very first episode.
Yeah, let's do it. James Curran, founder of linchpinfunnels.com. And we've been doing this online for a while. We've had a lot of success with Linchpin Funnels ourselves and with clients. And decided, you know what? It's time to make a podcast. We've been talking about it for a long time, and Alma just decided, like, we're doing it today.
Yeah.
So here we are.
We had like an hour and a half of time. Our window opened up and we said, let's just go for it. Let's go do it today, because we have this newly found notion where we're never ready for anything, right? You're never going to get ready. You can talk about it, you can plan for it, but you're just never ready until you fully dive into this thing. So today we're diving into this together, and we are going to kind of answer all questions related to what is linchpin, what is important about linchpin, and how do you get started today. All right. So, of course, today's first guest, our only guest today, actually, the first guest in our first episode.
I feel like it's going to be you and me for at least a few episodes. So,
that's fine.
Can we be co-hosts?
Yeah, we can be co-hosts.
Let's be co-hosts.
Okay. So James, being the linchpin funnel hacker, being the chief funnel hacker within our community, even though our community is growing, our team is growing. One of the things that I just wanted to ask you, why don't you share a little bit about what makes you the expert in this?
In linchpin funnels?
Yes.
Okay. Like the whole story, or just like the background and everything, how it came? Okay. So prior to coming to this marketing world, I spent over 20 years as a software developer, mostly back end, but some full stack stuff. So I understand the web really, really well on a fundamental level. And Alma, beautiful, amazing, powerful performance coach, mindset coach, was working with Tony Robbins for a long time. Kind of hit her peak when it comes to you can't really go anywhere from there. Like, he's like, the god of all this stuff. So decided it was time to do something else, and wanted to step out and serve her dream client. Even though I didn't know that terminology yet. And so I was like, well, I'm totally going to be your funnel guy. I'm going to be your web guy. I didn't know about funnels yet. So I built her a WordPress website, and it looked good, and we didn't know what we were doing at all. So we had to Google a bunch of stuff. And it was really frustrating to search for terms like digital marketing, how to get started, and finding affiliate stuff and Marketing Bros and all of this stuff that just didn't really resonate. It's like, okay, I guess this is like a cold world. And it wasn't until there were a few people that really stuck out that were awesome. First was Frank Kern. I love that guy. I think he's so funny and knowledgeable and powerful. I've literally bought one of his offers twice because I forgot that I bought it the first time. It was only a $4 offer, but it was like,
he's so good at it.
Yeah, I'm like, I need that. I already had that. But was a side note, I reached out to them, and Nora, his daughter, responded, and I was like, can I just get something else? And then they gave me I don't know, it was like Book Funnel Blueprint or something like that. So I ended up getting another course. Anyways, love Frank Kern. Came across .com Secrets and Russell Brunson. Honestly, didn't like Russell at first. I didn't. It seemed like he was salesy and a little scammy. I was more attuned to looking out for things like that back then. I was less open. And also, another truth was I was really just super jealous because dude was about as old as I was. I think we were about the same age, yet he was really successful, and I hadn't had near that amount of success. So there was a bit of jealousy there for sure. But anyways, so got into .com Secrets, and it immediately was just like, oh my God, here's what I needed. I needed to know what to do, how to structure a page, what a funnel is, what are the different funnel types, what are their purposes, how do they relate to each other, what is a funnel stack, follow-up funnels, email sequences. So all that stuff was just came down from on high, and it was like, okay, we can do stuff with this. And we did. And what I did was I took some plugins into WordPress that sort of pieced together a ClickFunnels-like environment, and it was all right. It did the job, and when we ended up finally switching to ClickFunnels, it wasn't that much better, if it was better. But the big thing is for us, we got into that book and the next book and the next book. And then the event came. There was a virtual event. And it was only like $100 or $150 or something like that. And I was like, we should do this. Like we're getting into this world. Let's go check it out. It's a 3-day event. And we took the time off. Like we focused on it, had it on the big screen. And I was taken in. It was my first time being at an event like that, because you've been to a lot of events that were similar coming from the Tony Robbins world.
Sure.
So you would know what it's like to be standing for 3+ days straight.
Yeah.
What it's like to be like just sort of enthralled in that environment. But it was the first time for me, and it was powerful. So when they invited us to join the 2 Comma Club X coaching program at the end of that, I was like, holy shit. I want that because we had suffered so much, right? Like what do you remember from that era?
Well, we were just kind of running in circles. We didn't really know what to do. And oh gosh, we didn't know much, right? I thought, I can sell these courses. I can sell merchandise. I can do all these things. And books and journals. And then and nothing was moving. And I just sat there with all this knowledge and expertise and just couldn't move anywhere. It was just, there was so much pain that we had to decide something. And the decision was, you either go back to working for the man, go back to a full-time job, or we go all in here. It was either go all in here or go all in there. And it kind of aligns with what we said at the beginning. You're never ready, right? You're never ready. You just kind of get pressed into something. You can't stay where you are. You no longer have a choice. So now, once you're pressed against the wall, you're either going to break through the wall, which is why they call it a breakthrough, or you're going to go back to where you came from. And
regret your decision.
So we had a discussion about it, and we had a real conversation about it, how it would be the right thing for you to go back to a full-time job.
But was it even full-time job at that point? Because what I remember, babe, it was more like, I'll figure this out. Like, I know I'll figure this out, but I might burn through all of our money and then have to go to a job. I remember that being the frame, where, because we had sold a house in Florida, we came up here to Asheville, and we made like $100K or something like that. So we're eating into that as we were learning on the fly. And it was like, okay, do I want to burn through all this money figuring out by myself, or do I trust Russell and Vince and the people there, and like trust that they know what they're doing and that we can figure it out faster and then just stop the bleeding and get things going. And that's what I remember from the decision. But it required us to pay $2,500 a month, which was nuts. And we'd never done anything like that before. And that scared me shitless, to be honest with you. I was super emotional during the whole process because I wanted to be part of this group, like it looked like a place for me. And yet I was terrified of spending all that money and not having it work out. So that was a real pivotal point in our journey. It's like really when we decided to commit to ourselves, to commit all this money on repeat recurring revenue, which we'll talk about that. But it was a huge deal, but the results have been just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it was also kind of that feeling of being new in a community. Because James had a pretty decent community in person. Most of my community was virtual through the Tony Robbins world. So I never felt new in that community because I was an employee and I felt very comfortable. I would walk into a seminar and walk quite comfortably through the building. It was, we were both comfortable in our own communities. And then together we joined this community where we were the new kids, right?
But we had a cohort which felt cool. Like we could like say what's up to all the other new kids. And there have been a couple of waves that have come in since then. And it's cool to see everyone kind of congregate together.
Yeah.
But we're definitely new. I was excited by it though. I really loved it from day one. It was great to meet everyone and jump in.
Yeah. So anyway, so after we went through all of that, it would be great if we could say, oh yeah, everything was piece of cake afterwards. But then our very first event with Russell was in Arizona, and there was a family event. It was for young entrepreneurs. So our daughter went there. She was 9 at the time. And it was kind of like, we were the parents. We were like the supportive team, but it wasn't our event. So it was, so we didn't have to play full out. We just had to help our daughter get through the event. And because it was our first time in the desert really as a family, so we also went sightseeing, and it was a great event overall. But our real event, I would say, was Funnel Hacking Live last September. That's when it was our come to God moment as a couple, as entrepreneurs.
I feel like we could do at least a whole episode
on
the drives that we went from Orlando to St. Pete and back. Uh-huh. we had some definite things just were not working very well, and we felt like imposters and failures amongst all these successful people, and it was a whole big situation.
Yeah, because we knew each other. We've been together since we were 21. So we are pretty much the only person we've consistently known throughout our entire adult lives. But both of us always had jobs. So we didn't have to deal with each other's work ethic. We just always knew, okay, when you're in the husband mode or the wife mode or the father mode or the mother mode or whatever, call adventure mode. We knew that version of each other. And sure, just like any couple, we would go on each other's nerves and we would have our own challenges. But I didn't have to worry about how fast or slow he was going in business and or how fast or slow he was making decisions. I just knew that his paycheck hit the bank on a consistent basis every 2 weeks or so. And that was it. So getting to know each other on a different level 20 years later, it's almost like getting to know a whole new person. Yeah. But that person comes with all kinds of baggage. You know their weaknesses, you know the mistakes they've made, and now you're getting to know them as an entrepreneur, and you're just looking like, time is ticking. Are we going to be okay next month? Are we going to be able to pay the bills? We still have a kid and who's looking up to us. So anyway, we can have many episodes on this, but those were the challenges that we faced. And we still didn't even have a clear path. We did not know where we were going. We just kept showing up to these events, hoping that something is going to click, until that one week in Orlando, something clicked for you there.
Yeah, I had a real epiphany moment. It was during the State of the Union for the software ClickFunnels, and talking about all the ClickFunnels 2.0 features. And there's this massive roadmap thing on stage, and Todd and Russell are doing their thing and talking about all the features and like analytics and email. Like all this stuff was all in one. I was like, whoa, bro, this is legit, and I was excited, but it seemed like the people around me were like not excited, and I didn't get it. This is my first FHL. So I didn't really have a ton of expectations, but I'm like, this is weird. Then I was kind of wondering like, what's going on? And then it hit me like, oh, there's like an anxiety around this. I think people are nervous about taking everything they have, everything that's working, everything that might just be barely working, everything that they may have paid someone else $10,000, $20,000 to get into place to get working. You got to move all that crap over to ClickFunnels too. And I wrote about this in a blog post recently. Like I felt like I was at the base of this like kind of canyon where like there's these big rock faces, and there's like, these people are over here on one edge, and over here is where they wanted to be. And I just saw myself as this bridge. Like I'm gonna do this. Like I'm the tech guy. I am like one of the things I'm greatest at is taking new information, processing it, and putting it into place. Like, give me a book, give me a framework, give me a set of rules. I'm going to understand them and be able to apply them faster than most people on this planet. I have many flaws. I have many things that are okay. I'm okay at, but that is one of the things I'm best at on the planet. So I knew I'd be able to, and plus all the, my experience building software, my experience running software departments, running support departments, experience dealing with buggy software, with new software, knowing how to massage it, how to give it what it needs so that it gets the job done despite not being perfectly robust. It was just a moment for me where I was like, I got this. I'm going to help people out. Coupled with the fact that they added the funnel builder certification to the program that we were already in. So I'm like, okay, not only do I have this technical advantage, but I'm also going to acquire whatever skills that I need to be able to do this for other people. Like, this is a thing. Like, I even told her, I'd be stupid. I'd be a dumbass to not take this opportunity and make the most out of it. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
When I got home, I just got into the Facebook groups and started saying hey, who needs help?
Yeah. Yeah. And you really just took off with that. So we're going to dive into what Linchpin Framework is and what's important about it and how you can get started with the Linchpin Framework. But I do want to share that regardless of where you are in your life, if you are considering starting just a side gig, or if you are considering jumping out of the working for the man mode and into entrepreneurship, or if you're just curious and you're like, let me see, what do these people even do? We've had some friends and family members who have questioned our intentions, right? They're thinking, oh, well, they're kind of thinking in that traditional sense. All of that is fine. We've been on the cynical side, and we have worked for the man for 20 years, and we have taken the plunge and gone all out. All of it is fine. All of that is perfectly acceptable. But just being honest with yourself, and where are you finding yourself now, and using that as your starting point as we go together on this journey. Because if you are cynical and if you are questioning everything that we say, maybe this isn't the podcast for you, right? Because we're just going to go deeper into it. And if you are just kind of looking into side gigs, some sort of side hustle, to pay for Christmas presents or whatever it is, that's cool. Take what works and just ditch the rest. And if you're going all out and joining us in this whole entrepreneur mode, then welcome. We welcome you, and we want you to know that it is all okay. And on this journey, we had to grow up a lot, and we learned that we were really, while we were parents and partners and siblings and children of other people and community members and all the things, we were really playing at a very low level. We were probably playing 20% of our capacity.
Max.
Now, maybe 60. I don't know. I'd be happy to say that we're 60, but there are so many other levels to go. So wherever you find yourself, just know it's okay. There's no judgment, no expectations here. We're all brothers and sisters walking on the same path, just different spots of the path, and we're all figuring it out as we go. And this particular episode is about welcoming you to our community and diving into what Linchpin is, why it's important in today's market, and how you can get started with whatever you want to do. So tell us now, James, what is the Linchpin Framework?
All right, I'm going to answer that question in a second. I want to build a quick bridge from where we were to where we are now. Also, in that same Phone Hacking Live last year, 2022, Russell dropped the Linchpin Framework on everyone. He made it an official thing. The Two Comma Club X coaching program went exclusively in that direction, where all the stuff that we were learning before got thrown out the window. So we went hard on that. And again, having the advantage of being able to learn stuff pretty quickly and apply it, I was quick to jump on that. And then knowing that I was going to have my own funnel building agency, I needed to niche down on something. I was going to niche down on coaches because I knew the coaching industry so well, but there's a ton of coaching kind of, it's not a blue ocean. So that didn't feel right for me. And then, some people are just focusing on a specific funnel type, like, the challenges or webinars or whatever. That didn't feel right to me either. So knowing that Linchpin was going to be a thing for the foreseeable future, knowing that FHL 2023 was going to be all about Linchpin, and yes, we did have that advanced information, I was like, this is my opportunity. No one's doing this. I'm going to focus down on Linchpin. And so that's what I did, both from for the agency and for everything that we do. We have our own Linchpin business now, So what is Linchpin? It's a marketing framework. It is, it's not a technology. Some people ask that. It's not a funnel type. There is no Linchpin funnel. There are, if you look at all the different possibilities of funnels out there, you can draw a circle, kind of a funky looking shape, and say like this, and this. These are funnels that aid in the Linchpin strategy, but there is no like button you can press and say like, I'm now Linchpin. But what it is on a high level is just a shifting of focus from delivering value once to delivering value more than once on repeat, recurring value. It's a recurring value exchange. So if you think this is a way to take your course and put it out there and just kind of rent it out monthly, I don't think you'll have a lot of success. It's not that. It's more like you have a membership in a community and people that you're on the hook to deliver value to every week. And then they will in return give you value back in exchange for the value you give. So it's that sort of thing. So that's the sort of info product version of it. If you're doing e-commerce, then you're literally sending stuff into the mail every month. Print newsletters, all the info stuff is the info stuff, but then the e-commerce stuff is basically shipping physical stuff. And there's a million ways to do it. But it's that instead of you bought my book, it's you bought access to this community with the book as a part of the package that you got as part of the sort of entry to this world. So there's that.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah. And really just understanding the Linchpin funnels as a marketing strategy. For example, when Russell talks about what happened with ClickFunnels when they turned it into, after many trials and errors, when they turned it into a Linchpin model, what was it? When they put out the offer, and the offer itself made them about $2.5 million. But when they offered it as a Linchpin model on the back end, it turned into a $9 million offer, right? So if they just kind of went with that one offer, $2.5 million would be good money, but the $9 million is really what allowed them to grow a company and have it become what it is today. So
yeah, it's really the power of it, and that brings us to like another core aspect of it. So if you think about ClickFunnels when they were started, Russell talks about how he tried a couple different approaches, but eventually the webinar worked for them, where they had a webinar, they would sell like a year's worth of access to ClickFunnels, and that was a $2.5 million annual revenue. But in addition to that, on the thank you page for the webinar, there was an offer to get a free 14-day trial. They position it as, we're going to be using ClickFunnels during the webinar. Get your free account now. It'll cost you nothing. Sign up now. And those people who stuck from that mode of product acquisition were able to, that generated like whatever, $8-9 million. So there's this. And then the money, so the way that Linchpin handles this now is like you take the money from these back end, they call them dramatic demonstrations, either webinar or challenge. And so you take that 2.5 million and then you put it into ads to fuel the rest of the machine, to keep adding more and more and more and more members, more and more subscribers to your world, because that stacks. You can get your return on ad spend from the dramatic demonstrations. And that's great, but you're just kind of always going in and out. Whereas if you put that money into something that continually delivers value, assuming you're keeping your end of the bargain on the other side, then it compounds. So instead of having a self-liquidating offer as part of the funnel to counteract your ad spend, the back end of your dramatic demonstration is your self-liquidating offer. That's another core component of Linchpin.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so why would you say the Linchpin framework as this marketing strategy? Why is it important for any business?
Because trading time for your time for money in a one-to-one fashion. I mean, if you're getting enough money from that, then continue to do that for sure. But you're always going to be capped. There's a limit to your bandwidth in a single day, and if you can flip it to where you're going one to many, and this has always been true before anyone's applied the word linchpin to a marketing strategy. This has always been true. One to one is expensive, it's taxing on you, and it's limited. One to many, if you have a course or whatever, that's always been an option. So it's always a good thing to do that. But the difference between a course, a one-time course, and the recurring revenue from a membership site, and I focus a lot on membership sites because most of us, at least most of my peers, are in the info products space where we're selling information, we're selling knowledge, we're getting people results and transformations that are not things that you can just buy. They're not like products that you can buy. So that's what we focus on a lot. But the ability to have that be a recurring thing, it just changes the game. Because like, if you know that you made, let's say your goal is to hit 10K per month. And let's say you through your services, you're able to, work 60 hours a week, in order to get that 10K. Well, if you're able to, put some time into building a recurring revenue model through the linchpin, and you're just able to like build that up, that's going to scale. It's going to multiply way faster, and it's going to go way wider and start to compound. And then you won't have to be spending so much time on it. So I'd say getting your time back, getting your sanity back, also being able to invest in your community, to be creative and work more closely with them. It's kind of a weird thing, but like, as you step back from the one-to-one, you're able to and you go one to many, you can see more instances, you have more data, and you can be like, you know what, I think they need this. And then you can ask them, of course. But I think it allows you to serve your clients and help them get results, definitely in higher numbers, but I think more deeply as well.
For sure. And I just thought of an example when, it's probably been about 6 months when I was trying to get into affiliate marketing. And there was this one girl who did an amazing job on YouTube. She sold me. I didn't even know who she was. I mean, to me, she was a nobody, but she's got all of these comments on her video. And I was sold. I was like, this girl probably knows what she's talking about. And I bought her affiliate marketing course, and it was $197. At the time, I totally thought it was well worth it. Well, my life got in my way, and I didn't pursue that course. I saw it in an email, and I said, I'll work on it tomorrow. I'll work on it on Monday. I'll work on it. And then over time, I forgot who the girl was. I forgot what the name of the course was. Then anytime I think about accessing that course, a little voice tells me, it's probably not even relevant anymore because this industry is moving so fast. What if it is? It might be relevant. Maybe she's updating the course. Well, who is she? I forgot her name. What was it? And she's lost, right? Where she had an opportunity. I was already sold, right? Her YouTube was on point. The video was great. I didn't have to have all this credibility to buy her course. She had me. Brain cold lead, boom, $200 right away. But what she didn't do, she didn't have it as a linchpin model. Had she just added that, right, that 100, had she just split that into, 6 months or whatever it could have been, or $200 divided by 6 months or 4 months or 5 months, whatever, she could have made it. I would have stayed. I would have been part of her community. I would have gotten the results by now. And and she could have invited me into the next level, right? So while she did make $200, I'm not a repeat customer, right? I'm not her. The life cycle of this client ended at $200 as a one-time payment, and that's really important to know, because she could have obviously gotten me as a client good results, some results, and she could have earned more money.
Yeah. It's an awesome story. I think we should reach out to this person. And
I don't know who it is.
Well, we got to find her and tell her that she needs a linchpin funnel. But anyways, and one of the things Alex Hormozi talks about is he basically says that most products suck, and that people think that their products are great, but it's, it's their marketing, or they're this or they're that. But really, most products just aren't that good. And investing in your membership site and continuously adding content and going back and redoing things, it's a way to enhance your product and sort of keep it always relevant and up to date. That's what sparked that for me. And ensure that you're actually getting people through it, because that's one thing that, course completion rates are pretty low. I was talking to a friend, Josh, in Inner Circle, and he's specialized. He's the course guy. Josh Brown, and he was saying how it's abysmal. Most people just don't create courses that get people through them. And he gave me a bunch of awesome tips that we're going to implement in ours. But if you're continuously delivering value, it doesn't mean you're continuously delivering new content. Delivering value can be re-recording the video that could be a little bit better. It could be tweaking improving the worksheets. It could be, just checking in on people, having accountability calls. It doesn't have to be new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So having linchpin focused on the specific result, delivering value continuously, allows you to build a better product and change more lives.
And it also allows you to have that consistent income, whatever it is. It could be $200 a month, and it grows eventually to $600 a month, and then to $6,000 a month, and then whatever, $60,000, whatever that comes, whatever that turns into for you. You have this, as long as you are doing what James is saying, delivering consistent value, you get to count on that money. You build this relationship, as he has been explaining, and you count on them to give you feedback. We recently received incredible feedback from one of our clients, where maybe 6 months ago we wouldn't even be able to handle it. We'd be like, oh my goodness, what happened? They must not like us. Oh, we should just stop this, right? But it was the perfect feedback at the perfect time that nudged us to do even better and to deliver even more value, which was kind of one of the reasons why we decided to start this podcast. In our case, we haven't even gotten our 2CCX award winning. We haven't earned $1 million through one funnel. We're not over here on the other side saying, oh, do what we're doing. We're the experts. Bro. We're 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. And that's exactly
maybe you're ahead of us financially and you just haven't implemented linchpin yet. I have a lot of clients that I do high tech stuff for, where they're flying, and we throw together a funnel together and hundreds of thousands of dollars are coming. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're not sitting here claiming to be these experts, which is really kind of to piggyback off what James said. So many courses suck. We understand that. We believe that too. I have started some courses with some pretty credible people out there, and I didn't get past module 1 and lost interest, right? So most courses suck. And we take great pride in our course, but we also take great pride in our journey, because we do believe that it takes great courage to sit here and tell you, look, we haven't made our first $1 million. So if you're looking to learn from somebody who has, there are probably plenty of them out there, but that's not us. We are here to be on this journey, to encourage you, to let you know that you're not alone on this journey, and we're right here with you, just on a different spot of this journey, and to share with you what we are learning on this journey. And this is really what the point of all these podcasts is going to be. What we learn, we deliver, right? We're nothing that we are going to be sharing. I guess this is our commitment and promise. Nothing that we are going to be sharing is going to be theory. everything is true and tried by us.
No bullshit. Yeah. We won't. I mean, if I'm thinking about trying something, I'll say I'm thinking about trying something, not like you should do this. We're not false gurus. We're not gurus really at all.
No.
We like every time I do a talk, I just did a challenge for someone last week, and I put on my site like dude, like I'm not a ClickFunnels employee. I'm not God. I'm not Russell Brunson. Like none of that stuff. I'm just a student like anyone else. But we've gone hard into it and know it pretty well. So we can talk a lot about it. And we also part of what we do is we have our membership where you can come and learn how to do it. But a lot of that information was also created as part of us delivering linchpin funnels for paying clients. That's like what we do more than anything else right now. So we've done a lot and put a lot of that into the course as well. But yeah, we've done it. We've done everything ourselves and won't tell you to do something that we haven't done.
Absolutely. Which also urges us to do more, right? To be more courageous because, nobody wants to follow somebody who's weak. So we're assuming this position and taking it very seriously. And we hope that you're going to join us and we hope more that you're going to get value from this. So
for real, I think it'll be totally possible for you to listen to this podcast and not buy a thing from us and still like put together enough to be like, okay, I can figure it. Between this podcast, Russell's talked about the linchpin on his podcast, Marketing Secrets. You'll be able to put stuff together if you're entrepreneurial and enterprising and not need to pay a dime. But for those who want to go faster, that's what we offer is like there's templates and ChatGPT prompts and all kinds of stuff to really compress the amount of time and then join a group of people who are doing this as their main thing. Yeah.
So if people were to join, if somebody said, okay, I get it, I'm curious, I want to join, how would I join?
Well, I'd first encourage them to go to linchpinfunnels.com and sign up for the free group. You'll get a free linchpin funnel, which is actually, it's kind of a lead capture funnel. We call it the coming soon or early bird funnel. But it's something that you can use straight away to grab, throw into your ClickFunnels 2 account and begin the process of capturing leads. You basically swap out a couple images, change some headlines, and you can have a URL on the internet that you can paste into your social media profiles or wherever you want to put it and start capturing leads, building excitement for your linchpin offer that you're going to then build.
Yeah. Yeah, great. So in summary, you would say what linchpin funnels as a marketing strategy is for whom? Who should use this?
Yeah, there's actually a couple of people that I say it's not good for. Because the focus is on recurring revenue, unless you're creative, realtors that are looking to do buyers and seller leads and stuff like that is by its very nature kind of one and done. People are not buying houses. Most normal people are not buying houses every month. You might have a subscription where you can give them some sort of insider knowledge. Maybe you have some stuff before it hits the MLS, or you can sell that. Maybe you can get creative like that. But I say by and large, unless you're selling information about how to become an agent or how to do land inspections or something like that, it just doesn't seem to work out super well. But aside from that, if you can. Even if you're in those niches, if you can just think about how can I deliver value continuously? What could I do where I had a line to someone and I could give them some information, some words of encouragement, and it can be just that. If I could just do something where I'm continuously delivering value, then you've got a linchpin. And I have a client we're about to kick it off this week, and her first level of linchpin is going to be $5 a month. It's just kind of like the supporter thing. It's almost like the Patreon model, right? So you don't have to charge someone, $500 a month and come up with some crazy amounts of value. You can get really creative with it, but it works for anyone who can deliver value continuously.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, in a nutshell, when you help somebody on a continuous basis and you really help them, you show up for them, you take great care of them, they are not going to go anywhere because it's people, regardless of how advanced AI gets and ChatGPT and all of these different tools that we have an opportunity to use now, we're still always going to need that human connection. So when somebody on the other side of the world or the country knows that you are consistently showing up and you actually do give a damn, they're going to happily pay you whatever that is, $5 or $500 a month. The moment they notice that you don't care is the moment they're out. That's just how it is. The moment you notice that your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or girlfriend don't care anymore, you're packing your bags. You're ready to pack because
it's at least time to have a conversation about it. This feels asymmetrical here. Let's talk what's happening here.
Exactly. And your spouse will give you that opportunity. Customers won't, because there's another course out there where they may be taken care of.
Yep.
And clients know that they can be dabblers. They can kind of be all wishy-washy and jumpy from one course to the next. So if you take care of them and you challenge them and you let them know that they're at the right place and they're safe and they're part of the correct community for them, there is no reason for them to leave, right?
Nope.
So just keeping that in mind. And I wanted to share one more thing here before our next episode. If you have any input, if you have any requests, if you're thinking, you know what, I know what Linchpin is, I've been listening about it for the last year, since last September, I am ready to dive in, but I need these questions answered, right? I'd like to know more about this particular topic in Linchpin. Please write to us. Let us know. We would love to hear from you, because if we know the answer, we're happily going to share it in an upcoming episode. And if we don't know the answer, we're happily going to find the answer and deliver it to you. So anything goes. Please don't feel like any questions will go unanswered.
And you can do that by emailing info@linchpinfunnels.com.
That's it. All right, friends. So join us next week as we dive even deeper into the world of Linchpin funnels. And again, to find out more about what we do, just go to linchpinfunnels.com. Home of Linchpin.
Home of Linchpin. Thanks, guys.